Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
Amanda, you have an agenda for us today, so why don't you lay it out?
Yes, I decided I wanted to talk about my chemo experience that has been happening over the past 4 days. Last time I did chemotherapy, it was 42 days, of which I completely sailed through. I even did it fasted, and I did not have to take the anti-nausea medication. This time around, the pill is only 5 days, of which I'm on day 4 of 5, and I have had a very different experience. I took the anti-nausea medication day 1. Day 2, I threw up quite a bit that day, and I absolutely don't feel like myself right now. Very low energy. It does, oddly enough, help when I move around a lot more. It just settles my stomach more. So that has been so far.
Movement is medicine, huh?
Movement is medicine. And so that's been my experience. It hasn't been the easiest of weeks. It hasn't been easy at all, actually. I was able, this time around, I also saw friends, which I didn't see friends last time. I don't think that has had any negative effect. If anything, it's been very positive. I was able to see a majority of my coworkers and then some friends that were out of town. That being said, next time my chemotherapy increases by 25%, and I'm just be real honest, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yes. This dosage is double what you were before. So I think before they were having on 140 milligrams.
Yes.
This dosage is 280,
Mm-hmm.
and your next dosage, which will start in October, will be 350-ish. And then they will keep you on that one for the next 5 to 11 months.
Yeah.
Depending on how far you decide you want to go with it.
Yeah.
And there's conflicting things, and that obviously doesn't need to be decided until February of next year.
Hallelujah.
I'm curious though, because you overall, obviously the other day was a rough day with the throwing up. I know you've been feeling off and a little lethargic, but you've kept a really great attitude through everything. What do you attribute that to? Because I'm sure there's people watching right now who maybe they're going through chemo, or they have loved ones going through chemo, and maybe they're struggling too, and there might be something that you can share from just how you're keeping your spirits up that might help them, because despite it being harder, I think you're managing it well, relatively. And I've heard you say movement's been helpful. I've heard you say seeing some friends has been helpful. It's been lifting your spirits, and I've noticed that too. Mm-hmm. It kind of pulls you out of the fog, and then you have a pep in your step. What else would you say has been really helpful for you with it?
Laughter. I would say I've been watching stand-up comedians, and there is just something about laughter that I love stand-up comedy. I've always loved stand-up comedy, and just laughing, and even amidst everything, it's nice to just feel just lighthearted. I'm sleeping a little bit more than usual, I feel, has been pretty helpful for me. Being really honest with the people around you, and just saying, like yesterday, Jamie and I had a discussion about smells and how certain smells are starting to trigger me, and she just goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." And she's absolutely not meaning to do anything, but I was very thankful that I opened my mouth and asked just for something so small. So I would say just being really honest with those around you and asking for help. I mean, how many times I feel like the past couple days has been, even the first pill, I didn't know, like, should I do it? And then I just ended up throwing up. So like that happened. And then
I'm wondering, why do you think, because what you said was really poignant in that being willing to ask what you needed or wanted. And I saw somebody else's who had done a write-up a while back and talking about how important it was for their own cancer journey and ultimately healing to be learning to ask what they want.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard for you to ask for what you want?
To me, I feel like I don't want to put anyone out. I don't want to ask for any more because I feel like so many times, especially with you, I ask a lot of you all day long. And so asking for sometimes even more seems selfish a little bit.
I feel like you're pretty good asking me, though. I'm more curious about other people. And I think that because I really, and I'm not just teasing you here, I really think this is an important thing. I think a lot of people struggle with this asking for what they want. That is a big piece of it, right? Not wanting to burden people, not wanting to inconvenience people. Is there anything else, though, for you that you feel is challenging for you to ask for what you want?
Like space. Sometimes I need space to like think about something or to just be in my own thoughts. Space would be a big one.
So you need the space to be able to think what you need to ask for. It's interesting too, isn't it, that you can go through a terminal diagnosis, chemo, radiation, now double the chemo that makes you nauseous. You can stare your own mortality in the face and say, not yet.
Yeah.
But to ask for help or articulate what you want can be still so hard.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I bring it up because I think it's something a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that one, you sharing it, people are going to really be able to relate in so many ways. And then two, you just sharing some basic strategies that you come up with as you work through it. I think people will be able to learn from that too. So maybe that's something we kind of parking lot and you think about more, and we talk about it more in a future video. Because you had something else you wanted to talk about today too. In addition to your double dosage chemo, there's some other big things happening for you, right?
Yes, I am going to shave my head. You can't really see it from this view. It looks like I have, at least hair.
We'll put a picture at the end, right?
But I am going to do I'm doing the device called an Optune, which is
it's almost, if you've ever seen a defibrillator, they have an AED if you go into a gym, or if you've ever watched a show like ER or Chicago Hope or one of those medical things, and they strap the things on the clear and they shock the person. It's kind of like wearing something like that for her head, except for instead of having two electrodes that you see in most, I think AEDs are usually two, you'll have a series of, I think, 3 to 5 of them, and they'll be placed around her head, and then the wires will come down, and there will be a sleeve that'll come down that will be attached to a battery, and she'll wear it in a fanny pack or a purse or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you have to wear it. They recommend wearing it an average of 18 hours a day, so just consecutively 18 hours a day. Most people, it seems like, wear it about 18 to 22 hours, so obviously when you're sleeping, take it off the shower. And they say average because if she wears it 23 hours 5 days a week, she kind of banks some hours, and then she could have it off if she wanted a day off or half a day off on a Saturday or something like that.
Yeah.
But why are you wearing it?
Why I'm wearing it?
Yeah, why are you gonna wear it?
Well, there has been a clinical trial that has shown that my rate of essentially making it to 5 years, which is a huge milestone for someone with glioblastoma, my chance to get to year 5 can go from 5% to, is it 13 or 15?
No, so what they medically give you when they give you this diagnosis is they give you about a 1 to 3% chance of getting to 5 years.
Oh.
But with the Optune, they say that boosts your chances to between 5 and 15%.
Oh, gotcha.
I think is the rough range.
Okay.
So, there's so many different variables, factors in there. Obviously, again, statistics do not, what's the expression? Populations do not apply to people. Statistics don't represent the individual.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah, so if you look at it effectively, while it seems like it's a small increase, it's 3 to 5 times what comes with the medical diagnosis.
Yeah. So I am all about living as long as I can. And if this hilarious looking device is going to give me X amount of more time, absolutely. Like, I'm going to have to shave my hair anyway. We'll put up a picture of maybe like the back of my head, because this looks great, but the back of it looks like, oof, I don't even know.
How do you feel about getting ready to shave your head? Because I know for most people, I mean, I definitely struggled with my own identity and when my hair started thinning. And I think that maybe even for women, even more so, hair is such a sign of femininity, or societal. There's a lot of societal expectations. Like, you go to the gym and you're on a treadmill for 15 minutes, you'll see at least 5 slow motion shots of women just waving their hair around and showing, selling something that promises more luscious locks.
Right.
So there's a lot of societal expectations about what it means to be a female and your hair and all those types of things. And how do you feel about approaching that and getting ready to shave it?
I actually am, well, because of the way my hair looks, I have to shave it. I mean, there's no not shaving my head. Seriously. And I think because of that, I am like, yeah, let's just do this anyway. But I definitely am not nervous to shave it. I'm not worried about what I'm going to look like. I don't have anything like that I feel that something's going to be missing. And when I actually went and saw one of my not my coworkers, but my boss and his wife, she had stage 3 breast cancer, and she shaved her head, and she talked about how she cried and was even worried about when she was going to shave her head and like how she was going to feel about it. And she said she woke up the next day and she's like, you know what? I'm a badass. Like, look at how, like, she's like, this is incredible. And she said her whole mind had just changed about what she thought she was going to feel and like how she felt. Like, she felt almost like more empowered,
liberated.
Yeah, like, you know what, I thought this was going to be a really big deal, and it was probably feeling a certain way, but then once the whole scariness or like whatever is happening, you're kind of like,
her identity wasn't tied to physicality as much anymore. Now it's tied to really essence, who she really is.
And my favorite part about that conversation with her, she's like, here I thought I was a badass, and then you're gonna have these electrodes over your head. She's like, you're like a super badass. I'm like, you know what, like, thank you for that, because I was more worried, like, oh my god, how am I gonna explain this device, mostly to children, but like just anyone in general.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting too, the conversations over hearing it. It's how many of our thoughts around shaving of our own head have to do with what are other people going to think, how do we explain it to them.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here. We love and appreciate you. Amanda will still have hair for the next video, and then it will be disappearing before too long. We'll leave up a photo of her behind the scenes, literally, at the end of this. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Bye.